Hi everyone, how are you all? I am Simarpreet Singh and welcome back to my channel. Or I can say hello channel, welcome back to my guys. That's my favorite line for starting all these videos. But yeah, as discussed previously in the in the previous video, if you have seen, I recorded my previous video. This is the second video from that series on Solidity to Sui Move Guide, where I will be just sharing whatever I'm learning, whatever I'm researching about move-based ecosystem. Firstly, move Sui Aptos in between. Like I will be just having comparison between all these things, how things will be working. Do you need to set up a CLI? Do you need to set up can you do the move based are there any move based online IDs available on which you can directly start coding and compiling your basic simple code, so that doesn't require a high end that doesn't require you to set up whole CLI setups on your mobile, laptops and PCs. So with that, let me start sharing my screen. And yeah, so from Solidity to Sui Move, a developer's guide from a Solidity dev perspective. My name is Simarpreet Singh, and let's start with this particular discussion. So in the previous video, we discussed about what is Move, how Move started, and how things were working in the Move ecosystem. But now we will be covering today we will be covering about Sui. Firstly, around what is Sui, why Sui, like how does Sui Move work actually. I think we have already discussed about Sui Move, Standard Move, and Aptos Move, but just for a glimpse, maybe some people may not have interest in just talking or learning about Move. So I thought I should include that topic here again. Also, comparison of Sui Move along with the favorite language of blockchain developers, that is Solidity. So yeah, and with a hands-on example of a ERC token, both coded in Solidity as well as in Sui Move. So with that, let me start. What is Sui? Sui is a layer 1 blockchain platform created by Mission Labs. It has key differentiators, including high scalability, low latency finality, and developer friendly programming models also. I know, like these things are all like there are claims by this particular thing could be claimed by many blockchain ecosystems also. So what's in there for Sui actually? It uh, but when I discussed and so when I researched around its core features, there are some things that I found interesting. The parallel transaction execution, which allows independent transaction to process simultaneously, maximizing the throughput. Parallel transactions happening. How are they happening? Because of Sui's object-centric data model. So with Move have the focus on global storage. Sui and Aptos forked from Move. They have their own implementation of Move language, but in the Sui, what happens is Sui Move has focused more around object-centric data model. So every object has its unique IDs, and rather than it has focus on objects with the unique IDs rather than the abstract state variables that we see in the Solidity. And other languages also low gas fees, optimize sources usage, and reduce transaction costs, as well as horizontal scaling also. It is also available on Sui. How so? Because they utilize directed acyclic graphs. Other things are also there, but yeah, these are the things I researched around in the meantime. Ideal for real-time use cases like gaming, dynamic NFTs. Actually, I saw that because the object-centric approach is there, it actually facilitates how Sui Move can actually have parallel transaction execution, because it will only happen in cases where the objects which are not interrelated, or in the other words, objects that are independent of each other could be processed parallelly. That's how, in those cases only, without needing of consensus, the objects or the transactions could be completed the finality and have finality also, because it doesn't have to evolve like a particular consensus. Some objects, like for example, transfer of ownership of objects, objects here could be token, could be coin, could be NFT. This doesn't need to have a particular consensus to approve things. It could be transferred directly. That's how, like one of the example I came across while researching around this, there are cases where objects, or like where the things are done like simultaneously but are independent of each other. This particular platform will be better for them. I think gaming, or like on-chain games could be one of the particular use case which could utilize this facility of parallel transaction execution, as well as Sui's object-centric approach. So how does Sui Move actually work? So Sui Move is a modified version of Move programming language customized for Sui blockchain. customized specifically for Sui blockchain. Okay, and the key features include the resource-oriented programming model that where the assets and data are immutable unless explicitly transferred or modified. Second thing is ownership and safety. So ownership is enforced by the language, preventing issues like duplication or unauthorized access. Then the parallelism is there because the transactions are organized to execute independently whenever possible, enabling the scalability. How Sui Move actually works. So, like, also one more thing, the key features. I just wanted to point out this thing in the next slide. I was like, I came across from one of the Sui's official document resources only. You see this particular thing, this particular one thing was coin transfer, coin balance. The second thing is NFT instance. Rest 3, 4, 5 are coming to our text. These are nothing but the transactions and the objects. So, like this one particular transaction, it was around coin balance inquiry or coin balance transfer from one owner to other. The second one was the NFT instance where a particular transaction could be happened where NFT was ownership was transferred from one owner to other, or it could be minted. Okay, and the third, fourth, fifth transaction were directed toward a particular text. So why are these two, the first and second transaction were directed here straightly, while the third, fourth, fifth transaction are directed only for the text? Because because of object oriented approach for the Sui, these objects are not independent of each other. Like the first transaction or the first object, the second objects are not dependent on each other, as well as they are not also dependent on third, fourth, and fifth transaction, third, fourth, and fifth objects also. So that's why objects of same types could be handled separately, and the objects that are not dependent of each other could be handled parallelly by other validators also. And sometimes even there is no need for consensus approval also for some transaction types. It allows to free the state or free the validators and create like ample resources available, so that in case of like many transactions coming in, the validators could actually do the transaction seamlessly without having the rise of the fees, as well as without choking the particular network. That's how the approach is available on Sui. So how Sui Move works? Object as first class entities. In Sui Move, everything, whether token, NFT, smart contract, it is treated as an object. For example, tokens are created as resources with unique IDs that are managed directly by the blockchain. Okay. I think there is one more thing. Sui has object-centric approach, and it is more around because Sui has like more of a type-safe language. I will just show you some examples in the upcoming slides. But okay, I will just hold on this point. I will just talk about this point of what I was trying to discuss right now after this slide, because the upcoming slides will be much better fit for that. Coming back to this slide, how Sui Move works, object-centric objects are treated as first-class entities only. And yeah, the point I wanted to mention was, so what's the difference between an object and an NFT here when we are treating everything in Sui Move as everything token, NFT, and smart contracts are treated as an object? Technically, all objects by definition are technically NFTs only here, because if you see, everything is object centric, everything is acting like an object. And when everything is actually acting like an object, through whatever resource I came across, there was one particular thing mentioned where I was actually laughing, but when I thought around, it was actually true. The thing is, if things are separately, these are just non-fungible tokens itself, unless and until specified, whether it's a token, whether it's an NFT, whether it's a smart contract. Directly, they are just objects of different types from each other. So we can actually say them as NFT also. Although this is just a joking statement, just wanted to relate how things are working. Second thing is gas optimization, because gas fees depend on computational efforts but are minimized through the efficient handling of the independent transactions itself, and the simplified transaction logic, because many transactions do not require consensus, like transfer of the ownership and reducing the latency of the network. So TLDR, other blockchains choose total order on transactions then execute, while in Sui choose casual orders on transaction and then execute, where data model makes dependencies between transaction explicit and total ordering only required for transactions with shared objects only. For example, in case of AMMs. So for transaction without shared objects, no need for consensus is required. because it could be handled independently. So here the shared object means like one object having some information that was utilized by other object, then other object, then other object. Maybe a chain where other object could not exist or could not perform until and unless the state of the previous object is defined. These are the shared objects states we are discussing about. This is from the Sui's official documentation itself. It's time for hands-on as well as the code. So example time is fungible tokens. So I have this particular thing where I am trying to create a simple token on Solidity. So how do we do that? So a token in Solidity, like as simple as that, like a particular token mapping is there. Solidity uses mapping to store the balances. This is necessary because Solidity state is abstract and balance are stored as a hash table only. And so that's why because of it only we created this mapping of balances and then a particular public variable of unsigned into 56, that is total supply. Then a mint function, a function is here which receives the amount of token to be sent or to be minted for a particular address, and then it is transferred to it, that particular address, whichever or whoever is calling this function. Preferably there are checks that only owners can transfer or only admins can transfer the tokens, but yeah, just for the example. And then there is a transfer function which requires which receives an address to whom we have to send, and then the amount how much tokens we want to send to, and it do the simple task. So this is just an explanation of how and what was happening behind the logic. Then a simple up structure of how this would have happened on Sui Move. This is example of move only, and let me show you how this code would have like happened in the Sui Move, and let's also see how things are running. So fungible tokens, we also have the same thing, like a declared an ID and then a value of unsigned 64. So you also, this is one of the question and one of a point I wanted to mention. In Sui, whenever we are coding, whenever we are coding in Sui Move, the things should be having objects have two characteristics. It always have a has key, and second thing is the UID. These are the things that makes the every each and every object we create unique, because that's how it is on Sui. So object-centric design in Sui Move, instead of abstract mappings, each token in Sui Move is a standalone object with a unique ID. So this eliminates the need for us to create the hash table, or we can say the mapping that we created in the Solidity and the first time of after creating the contract token. Like here, I can see like this is the thing particularly I was like we are discussing about. Because we are using UID, each and every object has a unique ID. We don't need to have particular we don't need to have this thing of creating the hash this hash map hash table actually. And the transfer simplicity, we are using the function to send the transfer the tokens. So let me just move to let me just hold on for a moment, and let's discuss about how things are working, what type of wallets you can create, which wallets are good to have or to connect on Sui network, and then also whether to set up the CLI or whether you can use an online ID. Let's move to this topic. So right now what I see is, when I was researching, I found out that there are plugins available for Remix also, through which we can actually code Sui Move on Remix itself. So how you have to do is, you have to firstly go to this plugin manager, okay? Then search for code by Wilden. Okay, you have to activate this, and it will land you somewhere to a particular table like this. Okay, this. So now you will see connect well done is there. It will not respond when if we are just clicking here, until and unless there are two things to be kept in to keep in mind. Firstly, and I will also recommend you two things. I found this particular wallet, Sweet wallet, a Sweet wallet, Suit. It's pronounced as Sweet. So Sweet wallet, you can create a Sweet wallet, easy to connect, easy to generate a Sweet wallet also. And let me show you the interface of how it looks like. So yeah, don't worry, these are just testnet tokens only. So yeah, I created a particular wallet, and okay, this is very much like very simple, sleek UI. And then if you want to request for some test for faucet tokens or testnet tokens, you just have to click here. Oh, it's not available right now on the testnet, so maybe. But okay. And the second thing I just wanted to I want to mention is connect to Weldon. You have to download this Weldon Chrome extension separately, create an account, and then there are two more things also. Whenever there are options that you can select from these many chains, you can click on Sui like this, and then add a new account. You will be seeing this particular option. Click on just connect. Just click on add account. You will have to enter the password, and you will create a new account. It will be, much better than importing a passphrase or like connecting a ledger hardware wallet, because I think it's still in development, maybe having some bug fixes or all. But I faced some problems while importing my already existing Sui wallet. So I will just say that for development purpose, also you make sure you have a separate wallet. Why to import a wallet? Better create a new wallet here on Weldon. And then one more thing, go to the settings, go to the settings here, and make sure you have this developer support available. It's enabled itself. Then only when you click here on connect to Weldon, it will respond. Okay, actually I had already connected my wallet, that's why it's not responding right now. I can show you here that yeah, port connected. So yeah, because my port is already connected here, and Weldon wallet is connected here. So now what next? How to create a simple hello world project? Let's see. So you can create a particular any like a hello world or something. You have to create here, or if you want to have some, you want to get some like templates also, there is option that you can select a range of templates here to see like what type of tutorial you want to start with. Or if you want a basic boilerplate also, like for example there are boilerplates available for coins, tokens, and other things also. But if you just wanted to get started, I will just say that click on forge, or you can just say click on basics only, and then create here. It will make something like this. I will just show you the basic how things are working. So it will create a Sui folder. Then in the Sui folder, everything like whatever name you created, like either the project name or either the template name, whatever you created here, it will generate it, and then it will be available here. So I created a basics. If you click on the basics template, it will land you something like this, and the source folder you will find 4 to 5 templates available here. Okay. So if you just click, if you go here and click on just hello world and create like a create project here, it will make something like this here, like hello world here. And then in the sources folder, you will just find a basic template or normal, like normal folder only. This is like how things are working here. Let me see. Okay, I don't have any new particular folder available here. I will just create one. This is hello. I just click on create, click on accept, and hello is created successfully. You can see this line just popped up here. So this is my folder which I just created here. This is the basic first folder you will came across if you start. And then in the sources you won't find anything. In the move also you won't find anything. So how and what to do? In the source folder you can create your file, whatever name, hello underscore world dot move, because we are coding in move. Okay, I will just click on go back to this particular my hello world code I written down. Okay, module hello world, from hello world, and then yeah, the standard library string, because there is one thing, because like Sui Move is actually type safe language, so it is quite strongly typed. It is actually a little bit pain also sometimes, if you are coming starting from the solidity or like from other object oriented of programming approach, because Sui Move is not object oriented, it doesn't follow that much of the O based programming logics. So this is one thing I found as a con for a particular newbie or a new dev coming from some other dev ecosystem. But yeah, if you have some time understanding move first and then move on to Sui Move or after move, then it will be easier for you. Also, to understand the line by line logic of our code, while I started coding and while I was just creating this particular, like planning for this particular video, I found out that it was much easier for me. It was my perspective to understand and read the code like this. For example, this is the type of thing like you wanted to import from this library, from this standard, and you are utilizing this particular keyword. Or I can say this is like for this particular function logic line. Public function hello world of that will be returning type a particular thing that will be of type string. I read it from right to left to understand how declarations are happening and how and what are things are happening. For example, return will be of type string from something named as hello world. That is a function of public visibility. That is my understanding of reading this code. So, like after you start coding in Move and write two, three, four programs, I think you will also find it you can relate to what I am trying to share. But it is my perspective of understanding and reading the code line by line. So this is the simple code of how to print hello world using Sui Move. Module we just like how in the Solidity we start with contract, contract name, and then start with the other things. Here in we use module. So, and then this is the import statement of importing the standard libraries. String is not direct part of the Move language, so we have to import it from the standard library to utilize. And then wrote a public function, hello world, that returns a string. This is the return. This is the statement that will be returned. Okay. Now, how to compile this? Go back to this code by Well Done Studio plugin. Scroll down. If your wallet is connected, you will be able to find these two particular buttons open to click. Okay. From here, you can select which project you want to run from, and make sure also there is one more thing. There could be possibility that like there more than one move file is available. So make sure this boilerplate is available. In the source file, you should always add your .move files. Okay, in the source file folder only, you have to make sure all the .move files are available only in the sources folder. And also, like there is one more thing for compiling it. The moves are like a structure is to have it like a module. So for module, we have to specify the dependencies also, what dependencies this particular type of module will be having. So in the .toml file, if you have worked with the Rust or Cargo, you know this .toml file works like as it is like how it works in Cargo. So hello world, I just copy like this particular things I coded. You can also copy. This is the basic boilerplate, like the package name, version, the dependencies. Make sure you mention testnet whenever you are deploying for testnet, and you can type mainnet here in case you want to deploy on mainnet. Okay, this is the package from which we have to import like all the things for related to Sui and addresses here. So I just copy these things .toml files here and paste it here and go back to my plugin. Click on the hello folder because I created this project, and then click on compile. If everything works fine, you will see that archive is working. Okay, okay, okay. Build is complete. That means our project ran successfully. Click on accept. Why so? Because just like how when we compile a Solidity code, it produces some out like build files. Similarly, here also you will see your build files here in the out folder. .yaml folder. You can see this thing were happening. This is the package output, and this is the JSON output. Okay, that's the simple basic hello world program you coded in Sui. Now coming back to the example of seeing the on the remix, let me just switch to my default workspaces also now. So Cairo scrap. I will just copy paste one of code I have already written for this ERC20 code for creating my own token. I will just copy here, and here in the I will just create a particular hello world folder, or what should I do? Just a second. Here I will create erc20.sol. Here I pasted my code. I just wanted to check if it is running or not, if it's running fine or not. Okay. Compile here. What is happening? SPDX not provided. Okay. SPDX. I'll just copy paste it from some other code line available right now. Template. Okay, and This code is running fine. Compile, and if I wanted to run this on the remix VM, it will run fine. The transaction happened successfully, and I can see my token here. How many I wanted to 15 tokens I wanted to mint and transact. It is happening to my address. I want to send it to my address here. So I will, oh, okay, I will just like not focus here. I will just copy from here. Okay, and transfer to this and do the transaction. It is happening fine. What is balance here? At 15. Okay, this simple code, this ERC20 code which we wrote, what is the implementation of this particular code in Sui Move? Let's see. So coming back to my workspace, the default workspace, Sui, and then in the token part, I created a token.move file. Here, this is the basic implementation of what was happening for creating the ERC20, a particularly token actually in the Sui Move. So how we start with module name as a basic system, and then I am importing the two things, the objects and the transaction counter. This is the structure where we define how our object will look like. What is the structure? So we generated the UID, and then the name. It will be a vector u unsigned of 8 bits. The value unsigned in 64 bits, and then the function to create object. Then there is the oh wait. I think I was on to some other particular example. My bad. Simple token. I think simple token. Yeah, this was the code actually. My bad, I was onto the other code. So simple token right now, object. I just have to import these things as because I was utilizing this. The token structure is here. The UID to differentiate and create a unique token. The supply and the balance table, just like how we maintained in the solidity code. Okay, and then the mint function here entry, because we are this will be a public function where things will be happening. I think the entry and other keywords would be better to discuss in some other videos, but at this moment we just focus on how to relate to the things. So amount we receive these two variables, the amount of unsigned 64-bit and to whom we have to send this transaction to, and it is required like token type, sender details, the idea of this particular token, the balance is created and added into the table, and this is how the table will look like, which will show these things: the balance, the sender, and the amount. And this is around the token. This is the token structure. The token is created, the ID is created, the total supply is created, and the balance. Like how many tokens were transformed or transferred from the owner's ID to whoever we want to send it to, and then we are just creating and saving this as an object. Then there is the transfer function here, which receives this token address, to the address to whom we have to transfer, the amount of tokens we have to transfer, and who is calling this function. Okay, and then the same thing, just like how ERC20 actually happened, the same way. So in case you coming back to the slide again, like sorry, the slideshow again, I just created the exact working code for from move to Sui Move actually, and that's what we were discussing. Oh, I forgot to deploy it. So let's go back and deploy the code and see whether it is running or not. So I already this code I have written, so it is available in my coin project. So I will just go click on my coin and then compile and see whether our code is working or not. Okay, yeah, the build is completed, so it is fine. And yes, yeah, the if you can see this, it is modifying because it created some compile files. And if let's see if we can deploy it or not. I don't know if I have that much tokens or not, but I will just try to click. But yeah, the the wallet is opening. That means my transaction my code is ready to be deployed. So yeah, that's how things work in the Sui and the comparison to Solidity. Okay, the time is running, so I will skip one example. I will just create separate video for NFT based contract comparison, where how the NFT creation is contract is working, or creation is happening in the Solidity, and how it is working in the Sui Move. How to write it down. And I think I will just move on from the already existing code to writing the code directly by doing the recording the video itself. So I think that's a lot of things I discussed today. So I will just take a leave. So with that, that's a wrap for today. We will move forward on to the hands-on code examples and deep dive to other like contract architecture on Sui Move, and then also to Aptos Move also, because I am quite curious around understanding the object-centric approach and how the address-centric approach from both the Move ecosystems, like from the Sui and the Aptos, is working, and how it is for a particular dev to switch to, and where to switch for. The research will be working on the leaves, the holidays will be utilized correctly. So with that, thank you so much. And in case you liked it, don't forget to, you can connect with me on Twitter also, and see you. Tada, bye bye.